Andreas Tille. Welcome to the Teams Exchange, BOF. I will try to do some very quick introduction because we lost some time. We have originally packages were literally owned by their maintainer. At DebConf 3, Teams were suggested, and since DebConf 5 we have uploaders, so both were quickly adopted by several teams like Debian Teams and other blends. And at DebConf 8 I realized it's hard to specify who at all is inside one team. And this was somehow solved in DebConf 11 with some GSOC team metrics project. So we have now some numbers about people and names of people to know. We have different teams. We have somehow content-driven teams, frequently addressed as blends. And we have infrastructure teams like installer, DPKG, apps, and we have language teams, Python, Java, Golang, whatever. The composition of teams might be quite different. Some are well-staffed, some can use more members because a few people can't handle all issues. Multiple members inside team, but they all reach their limits. We have growing teams, we have shrinking teams. We have basically one-member teams, either because this one member doesn't care for more members or really don't get more attention for the team. And we surely have also single maintainers. The culture in teams is very different. I prefer teams where every member can and should upload every package because this means, in my opinion, team. We have other teams where a few members care for everything and other only for very specific packages. We have teams where the uploader is more or less responsible for some specific package and all others will be only contribute randomly. And we sometimes see in teams that there is some automated process like the janitor, which is going over the whole repository space and doing some changes. Like I know it from the Python team. Well, we have teams where we are actively inviting people. This is, for instance, in Debian Teams team, I do this mentoring effort. We are doing sprints, pooling together with upstream developers, which is quite helpful to meet their needs for the packaging. People are frequently participating in GSOC or Outreach to get new members, which I can really recommend. I wouldn't say it works out that successfully to get long-term contributions, which would be nice, but if you don't try to get young people, then you will not get them anyway. Yeah, and some sponsoring is also helpful. If you want to know your team matrix stats, I have a script here in Team Matrix admin download database, so you can download the whole Team Matrix database, which contains only a set of teams. So if you want to be included, just tell me or write a merge request for the Team Matrix kit, so you can investigate the numbers of mailing list contributions, of commits of your team, and there are also some UDD queries to fetch some data for the teams. This is basically what I prepared for this because we want to talk. I would suggest we go around and or you tell what team you are in, and if there are several people for one team, just use one speaker to not consume so much time, and then we try to discuss. So, do you want to start, Daniel? No. just introduce yourself. For what team are you sitting here?
Since I have a micro, I start. I think I'm the only active member in the web team, but there are also the translators. So, and I'm part of the cloud team.
Right, I'm mostly working on the Ruby team. Are we supposed just to tell which team are working, or tell something that we're doing?
Yeah, if you want to provide some message to the others, just do it.
Right, yeah, in the Ruby team we have a set of scripts that I think just our team is using for packaging, for doing all those things. We have been trying to be more welcoming to newcomers, like we have not a well-defined, but I don't think many people are using, but we have a process to help newcomers submit new merge requests and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know if some just me from the team here. So, yeah, basically that.
Well, I officially maybe I'm part of multiple teams because you eventually joined Python team, Ruby team, and whatnot, but the ones that are most active are the security tools packaging team. We have around 200 packages that we maintain, and the other one is the core maintainers team. I'm the only person from these two teams in the room, I believe. The core maintainers team is kind of like a special team because you only have 3 people, 3 packages, and it's. I guess we're going to talk about that, but there's an issue in defining what is a team, right, and how you manage uploads and stuff. Who's next?
I am with the cloud team, where we have a number of packages that we publish. We also we build and publish cloud images for a number of different services, OpenStack and AWS and Microsoft Azure, through an absolutely massive Salsa pipeline. So if you want to really know how GitLab works, come talk to us. We interface between Debian and SPI and the commercial cloud services that we work with, and are a pretty interesting team with a whole lot of work to do, both packaging and sort of other kinds of stuff. We touch a lot of different areas in Debian.
So I'm part of the cloud team with Noah. I also maintain OpenStack in the OpenStack team, which consists of 539 packages so far, and there's been people going and coming and going, and I've been very often alone doing the job, which is currently the case as well. And I'm also part of the Go team and the Python team and the recently formed Home Assistant team.
Hi, I'm Pado. I'm in the Debian Brazil community team, the Portuguese translation team, and I have helped the publicity team with some stuff. I am on the alias events at debian.org. I'm receiving emails on this alias, and I'm a member of local groups teams. Basically that.
Hi, I'm Santiago. I'm also part of multiple teams because I'm in the Python team, the DNS team. I'm mostly working in the Salsa CI team and the long-term support team. For Salsa CI, I was alone last year, but we are 3 active people now, so I'm happy with that.
Cool. By the way, were you running around to find more people, or came these people to you because Salsa CI is interesting?
The 2 specific cases, one is Otto, who is very interested in Salsa CI, who was part of the team and currently, recent. He's active now. The other person is Ahmed Siam, who was a candidate for the Google Summer of Code, We didn't get the slot for us for GSOC this year, but he was still interested and he continued working, and that is how he approached the team.
Yeah, you approached him. Do you want to become a member, or came it to you and asked, "Can I be a member?" What was you the active person?
For Ahmed, are you talking about?
Yeah, whatever in general.
Okay, but my strategy was. Sometimes I ask, in spaces like this, who wants to help, because CI is fun, it's YAML, but is it fun, and we need help. So I ask people to join, and other people has reached me.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Ferry. I'm part of multiple packaging teams. For example, the Shibboleth packaging team consists only of me, unfortunately. I'm the only active member, but there is not much happening there, so it is manageable. On the high availability team, we have two people, and that's a more interesting place, because more things are happening. Upstream is much more active, and sometimes we lag behind. And the photo tools teams is a different team. It's a loosely coupled team. Well, there are lots of packages there which are not really owned by any member of the team. So we pick up things here and there, but there are problems there. It's not very. We are not very current, and we've got many bug reports which have to wait until we get to them.
Yeah, I am also not sure if I should consider myself member of the photo tools packaging team. I've thrown some packages there because they somehow fit, and from time to time I upload these. But yeah.
Yeah, this is how that team operates.
Yeah. Next one.
Is there anyone who would like to introduce themselves? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mark Hasselstein. I'm relatively new to the Debian community, so I'm just here to watch, observe, listen, and get to know you guys. Hopefully you're at my talk. As you saw, we're launching the Elixir derivative for Debian, and hopefully we'll get to know some of you over the next few years.
Hi, I'm Michael Benz. Like Mark said, I'm new to the Debian community. Just here to watch and learn. Thank you.
You don't need to talk. You can.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Next.
Let Nico talk.
My name is Ellen. I was part of Cloud team and EFI team for some time, but I then stopped it, and then I am restarting. And one question, actually, that I would like to ask everybody is about, as Kanashiro mentioned about newcomers, and you asked about how people got in the Salsa CI team, I would like to ask how many of you here have the opportunity to work on Debian as part of your job? And yeah. Right, a big amount, right? And I feel that this is kind of part of, as you mentioned about outreach and Google Summer of Code, I think this is related if people manage to get jobs on the field.
Yeah, most probably, yes. Well, there are different things. I've realized if you have students at university, they like to participate, and then they change their job, and either the job is not Debian related or they are not permitted to work on it. So, yeah, there are so many different reasons. So some people get children and can't contribute, but there's an exception that Sasha keeps on contributing. So there are so many things that could distract people from it. Yeah. I think I'm keen on outreach because this is just one way to get new contributors. You can have other ways, and maybe we learn more if some others have some ideas how we can get more people. So I think Jonathan has a mic.
I'll go next, then you, Poya, if that's okay. I'm Jonathan Korte. I'm on the Debian Live team primarily at the moment, and also have some smaller roles in a bunch of other teams. Debian Live is not in a very good state at the moment, but I have lots of ideas and working on it, and hopefully things will get a lot better soon. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Hi, I'm Poyo. I mostly work in the Python team, but I'm also in the Clojure team. I said I wouldn't smile because I don't do much Clojure, but anyway. I think one of the things we do in the Python team, and we don't do enough to welcome new people, is to do code reviews for newcomers. The team is really open, so you can join even if you're not a Debian maintainer. You just send an email on the Teams list saying, I've read the policy, I want to help. We give you some access to our repositories on Salsa, and then you can, in the REC topic, request for sponsorship for your packages that you've worked on. And in the past, I do it less these times because I have less time, but somebody wants to learn how to package or they have questions, and I think doing formal code reviews of people's new packages works well, either on REC or on a Teams list. I think it makes for a more welcoming thing, and it really helps show how packaging is done, especially for specific team with specific tooling. So I think in general we should, the main problem here is mostly time, but we should try to be more conscious of these and how much time people wait also to get sponsored for these packages. Because the more they wait, if they have to wait 3 weeks, a month sometimes to get a review and then have their package sponsored, it's not very welcoming, and it can be a blocker for these people.
This is definitely one thing I would recommend. If someone needs your help, you should prefer helping someone else over other tasks, right? Because if you help immediately, then 2 people can work. If you wait helping this person, only you work, and this other person is just idling. So this is one principle I'm following. Just prefer people who need help over every other task.
I'm Stefano. I'm in the Python team mostly, and a bunch of little ad hoc teams around a couple of packages. Yeah, in the Python team, I'd say we do an okay job of reviewing code for newcomers, but generally people need to pick up a new package a new package to get into the team. It's hard to get into the team to do work on things that are in the team, and I'm not the most collaborative team when it comes to working on things. Until it comes to a Python transition, then the people who have time jump on it and fix bugs all over the archive to make the transition happen. And then it doesn't really matter whether something's in the team or not. If it's not in the team, you NMU it. If it's in the team, you team upload it. Not a big difference.
I'm a big friend of not only NMU, but always ask the person who's maintaining or sometimes not maintaining a package, is it okay to move it to the team, and then saying, if I don't hear from you for 2 weeks, then I assume you are okay with this, something like this. It's we have this salvage procedure, which is official. I think it's more than 2 weeks waiting, but this exists, and this is a procedure I personally prefer over just accepting that something is laying around and we haven't its control over the packages that are, I don't know.
Hi, I'm Nicola. These days I don't do much packaging. I've ended up a maintainer of pewparts.debian.org, one of the QA services for the archive. And kind of happened by chance. The previous maintainer was seeking new maintainers, and I wanted to start doing some, let's say, more technical stuff in Debian again. And so I've ended up picking up the mantle, not as thoroughly as I should have, probably. It's pretty slow. But I guess that's probably because I'm also one of the delegated Debian account managers. And this is another area of the project where it's really hard to seek volunteers. There's the fact that we are a heavily technical project, and it's hard to get people to do stuff that are on the less IT side of things, let's say. And there's also a big trust issue. We are the gatekeepers of the community, if you look at it from like 10,000 feet. And introducing new people in the team kind of opens this door. And we need more volunteers, and I feel like the project would deserve having more members, more full members of the project. But it's not like everyone should be a full member of the project, so we have to set a line somewhere, and it takes a lot of energy and time and emotional labor to set this boundary and maintain it over time. Luckily, in the recent months, maybe a year or two, the hard decisions that we've had to make haven't seemed as controversial as they might have been in the past, which, I don't know, it's not clear if it's apathy from the project or if it's that we are doing the right thing. It's never clear which it is, but anyway. So yeah, and back to Pew Parts, seeking new volunteers for a code base that is maybe 12, 13, 15 years old in places is really hard. Like it's a lot of tedious maintenance work, and having this kind of old code base makes it really hard to do like interesting, fun stuff on the code base, even though there's a lot of space to be able to do that. Like there's tons of feature requests and stuff that would be nice to have. But yeah, lots of technical depth to dig out of before being able to do that. And so it's hard to ask people for help because you're gonna give them shit work, basically.
Yeah, but I would like to thank you for your work to get new members, because I think all these other teams where it's technical work, but I know that non-technical work is extremely important, but for people like us, or at least I can say it for me, it's not that much fun, because you have to deal with more complex problems than just compiling a program or so. You want to say something, or response?
Then I'll introduce them.
Oh, okay.
I'm Jonathan. I'm JMW. I'm a recovering compulsive volunteer. I'm an account manager along with Nicolas, so I won't. All I will follow up to say there is diversity is a real problem for account managers. We are all white, male, Western, and rapidly approaching middle-aged. So that's a real concern amongst the team, is that we don't really represent the project that we are managing the members of. I'm also a member of the release team, and I'm in those terms, recruitment is a problem for us there as well. We identified in a sprint that we're not very good at making time to document what roles take place in that team, and then outreaching to get those roles filled, because the existing members are run flat out pretty much throughout the release cycle. The release mailing list is basically a fire hose. I think it's only the bugs list exceeds it in traffic. So we have looked at things like splitting that list up to make it more approachable, and splitting up the expectations of what people will do inside the team into what's effectively sub-teams already. So I focus more on stable release management at the moment, along with Adam. Others are looking at managing transitions. Others are doing policy and release planning work. And actually, if we could say, come and do stable release management rather than come and be a release team member, that might be more approachable than joining the whole team and believing that the expectation is you'll do everything that's in there. It's a very, very busy team. It's very, very stretched, so that the things we identified and the things that we plan to fix in November have seen very little traction because of that, and that's where we need to put some focus now.
Yeah, also thank you for working the release team. This is also great.
One thing I saw in several discussions about getting new members, that people that like to participate and contribute ask, so where should I start? And then we point them to, oh, there's a web page, there's a wiki page, there's whatever. For example, with the translators, they are the PO for a DebConf files. Web pages could be translated. So I think we have a huge amount of information at several different places. And that's too complicated. And I think we could not fix it with, let's do what beginners should do first, then we have another source of information, and it's hard to find the important information. So maybe I'm a friend of removing content and concentrate on the most important things, and not say we have these things that you all can do, and then people say, these are like 100 jobs, and I only want to start with one job, so which one should I choose? And it's too much that they see that has to be done, so really try to concentrate even on the team, not only for the beginners, but for example, translators will never finish their job. There are too many things, and we as a project should concentrate on the most important things that are great value for our users, and not try to, for example, translate every single document we have somewhere, or wiki page, or whatever. So make it easier for the new contributors to find things where they can start to work.
Yeah, for me, for instance, in Debian Med, if some newcomer comes, I usually say, try to package what you are interested in. So fulfill your personal dream, what's missing in Debian. And then we teach exactly this packaging. But this is just packaging. We have different jobs, so there is no way to have one rule for every newcomer. This I'm pretty clear about. Just helping to fulfill their own interest is in my opinion, the most attractive way. Hector, you want also to say something?
Hello, I'm Hector. I'm part of the several teams, part of the core infrastructure like a DSA or a treasurer as well with finances, and also part of Debian installer. I'm not doing active work because time is limited, but being part of the Python team, GDB team, and X-Force. So I've been don't have time to be like working on everything, but I'm trying to follow what's going on these teams. I don't know what Thomas was commenting about documentation, maybe not remove, but have more professional site where we can kind of put together right documentation, like very focused, and have like a documentation team, which we used to have in the past, but right now I don't think no one taking the lead there. and I think that's kind of important. I think the web team is doing good work, but it's not the keeping all the content of the documentation part probably. And yeah, I don't know. Should I say anything else?
There are hands raised. You have the mic. Do you want to start? Okay.
Hi, my name is Tassia. I'm a non-uploading DD, and I currently don't work in any particular team apart from DebConf content. I'm just checking. No. But I've talked to Andreas about this issue of sustainability of the project and membership, and I think it's a consensus that we need newcomers, we need a refresh, we need a next generation, and what I propose, at least from maybe if we can get a more concrete outcome from this discussion, could be well, if it's a consensus, if we all agree that it's a need, and it seems that many of our core teams are in this status of we need to refresh, but we have no time, we cannot make time or procedures to welcome. So really thinking of a sprint or like a task force of onboarding new members, even in the project, because we have people in the project could migrate, could join forces and go to other areas that are more in need. So what I would propose is that we somehow have a task force of every team. Like, I think it's a consensus that we need to think of the next, because otherwise it's not sustainable. So whenever, and we do have teams that are relying on one single person, and if that's the case, if that person is sick or has a burnout or whatever, the worst happens, and the person is not there, we need to think of the next, what's coming next. So yeah, if we can make this a priority, because we all know it's a need for a long time. So why not make it a priority and say, okay, we stop doing what we're doing, and let's minimally document and see how we onboard new members. That's my...
I can tell you a good example how a team member vanished. It is maybe the team members running for DPL, and then the team is left alone. I'm really proud that it's working in the Debian Me teams. It's also somehow working in the R team. So, and we have actually onboarded a lot of people. Debian Me has attracted one developer per year, so 23 developers, and only 13 are active, and the others are doing some other stuff in Debian. So it works to come into Debian, into one team, and then spreading out. Nicolas?
Yeah. I think what a lot of the teams that have spoken up today are struggling with is documentation. I think that's the baseline issue that all teams have in Debian. There are programs that are aimed at attracting technical writers into free and open source projects. Maybe that is something that we should consider, at least attempting. I know that it didn't work out for the project that I work with as a day job. We only got poor quality applications for this program, but maybe Debian would attract people that are actually technical writers and would be able to get into a team and document processes and make sure that people can then be onboarded to the team with full knowledge of what going into the team entails. Yeah, and I don't know if we should put like specific project resources onto that, or if we should try and see if these programs, like the one that I'm thinking of is was called Google Season of Docs. There were a few projects that got technical writers from that. Yeah, because it seems like all of the teams are unable to get the head out of the day-to-day work to actually take this time and do the documentation. And I think having an external point of view that can look into the team and see what's going on might help unlock this issue.
On the topic of getting new contributors, I believe the Debian Brasilia team is the most successful program that we have today for Debian. They have this partnership, and they're going to present this at, I don't know when? After lunch today. Yes, I highly recommend watching that. They have this partnership with the Brazil University, and our two camera operators, actually, they come from this program. They are DMs right now, and they get on average at least, I would say at least one strong contributor per year through this project. So it's like, I think it's around 6 students we get per semester in, right? And then one stays for good per year, more or less, like maybe more. And that is highly successful, right? Because at the end of the day, if you get us, it's not easy to do what we do. It requires a lot of skills. So that's a good success, I would say.
Yeah, very good. I know that Brazil has a really strong community, so it's very good.
About newcomers, I think we can divide this funnel in a few stages, I would say. So one is, how can we increase the number of people who are willing to contribute but maybe doesn't know how? How many people manage to actually find a task and contribute something? And how many people stick around? So one question that I have is, which one is priority? Because there's work to do in each of those stages. And the other thing that I'd like to ask is, well, we have outreach, as you mentioned, and other programs, and those people doesn't stick around. I was wondering, would it be possible that Debian help those people to get jobs that are related? I have a few ideas, but I'd like to hear you. One few ideas is like have a guideline, do recommendation letters, have a pool of companies that might be interested, and so on. So I was wondering if this could be something we could do.
It sounds good, but we do not have so much time to discuss. So if you do some write-up and write maybe to the DebConf mailing list to respond, because we have only 1 minute left and at least 2 people.
Who's next? You Thomas.
So one quick recommendation that I would make for people that are, for teams that are trying to attract new people, to onboard them, I think this will be a lot easier than docs. I think we should actually, like, existing team members should make themselves available for sort of high bandwidth synchronous communication, like use Jitsi and things like that, and get on a video call with people, and don't expect them to just read all your docs, read all your code, and find the problems to solve. Like that's great if you can find those people, but if we limit ourselves to those people, we're kind of screwed. So like really just be available and talk to people kind of in person to the extent that you can. I think that's a really effective way to bring people up to speed quickly. And then they can also help write your documentation because they're learning new things and it's very fresh in their mind and they're coming at it with fresh eyes.
So last words to former DPL also, because we are at 0.
I'll give him, he was first.
Okay.
Okay. So I really like the idea of the word onboarding, because I think this would maybe attract people. Oh, there's some onboarding. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just having a contact that replies in a reasonable time, that is a type of onboarding and getting in contact with a team or a team member, and that would help a lot. So,
mentor.
Yeah, something like a mentor, but do not make a project out of it, but just saying, we have some onboarding, here's the contact address or the mentor, and the rest they should sort out how they would like to help.
We also don't have a talk master for this session, so I'll steal 25 seconds. If you are on a single-person packaging team, consider moving your package to /Debian on Salsa. Then the whole Debian is your team. Secondly, when I was DPL, Helen, a few newcomers did ask for recommendation letters and certificates. The problem is if they're a newcomer, they don't have any records, so it makes it kind of impossible to recommend them to anyone. But maybe that's something we can talk about more later on as well. Thanks.
So thanks to everybody for coming. And I think this is something we need to work on, and maybe some other ideas are interesting. So, yeah, I hope we can enhance something in the